is God. You already know, man. Yo, Bohemian wizardry, you brought them seeds to killing me. The enemy is close, we both lie from our identity. I feel like he who stepped, architect like Imhotep. Son had the sun himself, the God deadly with the art. I spit dark with a slit heart. You can feel it in your bone marrow before the shit starts. Standing in the cold with a scroll that was written in gold. Behold the old glimpse that was never untold. Infinite like the 8-7 dwelling in your melon. No felon, though the unrighteous say that I'm rebellious. I'm fine for my rhyme suicidal. I worship no idols. My style of the gems going down in the spiral. You stuck in your room. My intelligence past my proof. The God is the truth. Every time I step in the booth, you step on the stoop. Got scooped and swooped in my loop. Do the knowledge, racking seeds get played like fluid. It's the son of the star, a gift from the gods. Wings flying through the sky with golden wings. Submerged into the light. Not everybody go to king with the scepter of justice. Melanin cultivating change till we are rebellious. Finally becoming one with the righteous son. Solar, souls of law, magnificent glow. Unconditional love, scattered rays today from the heavens above. Soul below, the soul trapped in the lowest flesh of hell. Incarnated into 76 trillion cells. To break free, we must be refined, masculine, feminine properties divine.
The devil's the author of confusion. 183,000 divisions and religions. Denominations, sects, cults, schisms, and isms. There isn't no hidden in the Bible that Jesus spoke in parables. The scriptures and gospels aren't just historical. Many passages want me to be taken literal. Most of it is allegorical, based on esoteric principles. Baptist versus Methodist, Pentecostal holiness versus Jehovah's Witness, Mormons versus Seventh-day Adventists, skeptics, atheists, and agnostics, divine conquer Catholics and reptilians, lower fourth-dimensional aliens. So beware of the draconians, Satanists. Though the angels who are putting on true beings through ignorance, though we crush the head of Leviathan. Battle mind control, subliminal suggestions, brainwashing indoctrinations, using religious politics, education, economics, health and labor, entertainment of war, for sex and war, in this chessboard game, full like you've all been pawns. Puppets on strings controlled by demonic spawns. You can't run with the devil and walk with God.
You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God.
All right. We back once again. All right, for those that have been following us, we know that we've been going over, the information concerning Jesus. All right, and we already broke down how Jesus symbolizes Shu from the ancient Egyptian mythology of the Kemites, the Temerians. And what we found out was that Shu symbolizes the personification of air. And this same personification of air personifies your human anatomy, which holds your physical anatomy together. All 76 trillion cells is based on yin and yang, or centrifugal and centrifugal force. Hence, Shu symbolizes those two elements, him and particularly his sister, Tefnut. So Shu, which is air, and Tefnut, which is moisture, those two aspects symbolizes the yin and yang principle, or as in the case where we're talking about the centrifugal and centrifugal force, push and pull. Those two in particular holds the physical body together. All right, and Shu is the first and only begotten son of Atum Ray. All right, just like Jesus is the first begotten son and only begotten son of God, Jesus is called the second Adam. Well, Shu in the ancient Kemetic teachings is called the second Atum, right? Or the last Atum. All right, so that's not a coincidence, because that's who part of the mythology of Jesus is based upon, right? This is where we get Zeus from, Krishna, Buddha, you know what I'm saying? Because these are ancient Kemetic names, right? That's what that is. All right, so we're going to get into the 12 disciples. All right, most of y'all already know we'll be going with this. All right, if y'all been watching the last video. So what we're going to do is get into the information. And before we go too deep, we got some announcements. All right, some more heritage announcements before we get popping here. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so we know we got to give our warning. You know, we're not infringing on copyrights or anything else. It's called the fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news, reporting, teaching, and parody. All right, so you know that's what we do here. We teach. All right, so Hill and Wings Institute, we have our online courses. You want to learn more, go to www.dralimellbey.com and you can find the prices there, how long the classes last, 1 to 3 months. We do Qigong, Tai Chi, Reiki, pranic healing, reflexology, Tantra, Kriya Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, Egyptian Yoga, herbalism, herbology, iridology, and much, much more. All right. For each course, there are certifications. We also have a spiritual life coach training. Once you learn enough information, in which that you can do. And we do these classes every Sunday and Tuesday. Every Sunday and Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. So check us out, www.dralimelbey.com. And for the Gmail, you want to do, instead of the Hill and Wings online at yahoo.com, you do not want to do that one. You want to do Royal House, ROYAL, Royal House, HOUSE 777 at gmail.com. All right, that's Royal House 777 at gmail.com. But that number is correct, 910-364-9099. You can hit us there. That's 910-364-9099. All right, we also have our coming event this month. We got 20 more days. 20 more days before you can come on and get some of this scientific, metaphysics, occult, esoteric teachings in person. This is the Hill and Wings Institute. Dr. Alim Bey, Princess Kadera El Bey are your hosts, and we will be going into Qigong, Tai Chi, Reiki, reflexology, Tantra, Kriya Yoga, everything that we just said that's in the online class. We're going to try to get as much as we can in person in the 3 days, which is September the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. 3 days of the most enlightening, practical information and actionable information on the planet, right? You will get certified in Reiki 1. You can get certified in Reiki in pranic healing basics. You can also get certified in Qigong 1 and Tai Chi 1. The others, you will have to bring additional funds if you want to get initiated into higher levels, all right? But that will be included in the 3-day activity, all right? 910-364-9099, or go to the website, www.dralimellbey.com, to calendar of events. Go to the calendar of events. As you see here, dralimellbey.com, /calendar of events.html. All right, it's in the chat. All right. Also, we got Columbia, South Carolina. This coming weekend, September the 7th, this Friday, we will be in Columbia, South Carolina at Rotopian Bliss. Rotopian Bliss. All right, that's with the goddess Sasha Lone, chef of the Raw Vegan. All right, this is at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to around 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but the address is 8502 Two Notch Road, Suite 1, Columbia, South Carolina, 29223. If you need a call, 803-518-8927. The suggested donation is $10 at the door. And I'll be talking on the occult science of the holy breath. The occult science of the holy breath. All right, so check us out. All right, we're going to go in. All right, some of y'all seen the videos. That's fine. That's on YouTube. That ain't nothing in compared to coming in dealing with this information personally. All right, learning the techniques personally, knowing that you're doing this shit right. That's nothing. All right, so you need to come on out. YouTube is fine. I'm glad that you give the likes and the comments and even the super chats, but you need to come on out, you know what I'm saying, and get this in person. All right, no excuses. Then the same weekend, this is September the 9th. All right, we taking a world tour of the South. All right, anyway, Decatur, Georgia. That's the ATL, located at the Moorish Medicine. We're going to be there at 2440 Wesley Chapel Road, Decatur, Georgia, 30035. Phone number is 678-615-2547. That's September the 9th, right, at the Moorish Medicine. We're going to start that at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The suggested donation is $10. And I will be speaking on the Syrians and Anunnakians, the Nagas in Malkuth, the world of the making. All right, that the title alone can blow a nigger away. All right, so come on out, check us out on September the 9th, September the 7th, and September the 9th. Check us out. All right, www.dralimellbey.com. You need more information, calendar of events. Then, of course, me and my wife, we are propagating the science of the black or the Z black card. All right, this is some information that you need to know about Z-Tegrity. All right, so if you need to contact us to learn more information, royalhouse777@gmail.com, Mr. 252-820-5322, Mrs. 910-364-9099. And that's Dr. Alim and El Bey, independent business owners, IBOs of Z-Tegrity. All right, ztegrity.com, /Dr. Alim El Bey. And if you need the promotion code or promo code is zblackcard.com, /5FMW. And my wife's is zblackcard.com, /39 Malcolm X, MX, as she said. That's how she remembered Malcolm X. All right, so MX. All right, so check that out. That's 39MX. All right, and of course, with the Z-Tegrity card or the Z Black card, we have the Ultra Elite rewards. We have the Auto Reward card. We have the Ultra Elite Reward card. All right, and so you can actually select your metal card design because these are actually black cards. All right, this is actually what they are. These are black cards, and I showed you on one of the previous YouTubes or webisodes, as we say. The card, all right, is actually made of steel, metal, iron, whatever you want to refer to, metal. All right, and this metal card is like the Europeans and their black card. I went to a bank recently, Wood Forest. It's in I think it's the name of it, Wood Forest, whatever the name of it's in Walmart. And I gave the lady the card, and she was like, "Oh, this is heavy. This I don't know if I can do anything with this. I've never seen this before, you know." And then the sister came up on her, because it was an Albion. Sister came up on her and said, "That is a black card." All right, and she looked like, "Oh, okay," you know, and so that type of thing. So it definitely is, it definitely is a different feeling than just going up in there with a money order. You know what I'm saying? You know, or something like that. You know, so it's definitely a different feeling. Best believe that. All right, so this is why it's called the Ultra Elite Rewards card. That's the standard card for those on a budget, but still desire to have the best card in the world. And then, of course, you have the VIP reward card for those who choose to live life to the fullest and demand value. All right. So the Z Black card, Ultra Elite Rewards, that's the one that's for $20, style 1. Then you have the Style 2 for $100, which is the Ultra Elite Rewards, the Z Black card, which is the VIP reward card. And then you have Style 3, which is also $100, which is the auto rewards card for those who desire to drive the car of their dreams. Promo code. We just went over that, but here it is. zblackcard.com. Mine is /5FMW. 5FMW. All right. Oh yeah, everybody in the cipher who already came on to Ztegrity, post your promo code. All right. We want to tell you all that. And also my wife's is zblackcard.com /39MX. All right. And she remembers Malcolm X. Right. We used the, and that was an inside joke because we had our bookstore and there was a guy that used to come by all the time. He used to ride his bike. It was an elder. He would come by on his bike and trying to extort money from everybody up in that piece. And he was like, and he know that we was giving classes. So he always be like, I know about Malcolm X and Malcolm X and Malcolm X, you know, and so we, you know what I'm saying? And we was like, well, yeah, well, what about Malcolm X? I knew him. I knew Malcolm X. I knew him. I'm like, okay, word. All right, so let's get into the Malcolm X webinar series. All right, webinar. All right, so here we have The Black Man of the Nile and His Family by Yusuf Ben Yakinen. And Dr. Ben states that the most ancient name for Egypt is not Kemet, it is Temeri or Tamaray, all right, which means earth, water, sun, meaning beloved. All right, together means beloved. All right, this is what Dr. Ben says in the book, that the most ancient name for Egypt, of course, is not Egypt or Kemet, it is Temeri or Tamaray, right? Which, or Tamari, or Tamar, or Tamar. Okay, well, there it is. Earth, water, and sun, beloved. All right, then of course you can go to the Egyptian hieroglyphics, the Metu Neter, with the inscription Arset Mary, the beloved throne, at the British Museum. My wife and I have been there and we have seen these. And the Nile, Notes for Travelers in Egypt, all right? The Nile, Notes for Travelers in Egypt. That was a book, 1905 by E.A. Wallace Budge, or Ernest Alfred Wallace Budge, right? And here it is, Amin Mary, Arset Mary. So when they try to tell you that Arset name was not Mary, then how come we have the goddamn stills from the British Museum showing that that is a fact? All right. As well as we know that E.A. Wallace Budge was out of the British Museum, you know, and this is also in his book, The Nile, Notes for the Travelers in Egypt. All right, so Amin Mary and Arset Mary. All right, so Amin was married too. Arset was married. All right, you even have Ptah, Arset Mary. Caesar, living forever of Ptah and Isis, beloved. All right. You have the Haku, Atek, Keretor, Ptah, Arset Mary, which means King of Kings, Autocrator of Ptah and Isis, beloved. So Isis was the beloved. And so hence M-E-R-I became M-A-R-Y, the mother of Jesus, or also the three Marys, Mary, the mother of God, or the mother of Jesus, Mary Magdalene, and Mary Martha. Those are the three Marys mentioned in the New Testament, right? Those symbolizes the three areas in the brain, right? You have what is known as, you have the Pitta mater, all right? And it breaks down to three components, right? The pia, matter, a matter, right? M-A-T-E-R, right? And it breaks down to three areas in the brain. But even then, this is still coded a little bit because Mary symbolizes the throne, which is talking about Mary is all set. As we see here, all set Mary, that symbolizes the pituitary gland. But the throne in which that which sits on top of Mary's or all set Mary's head is the throne, which you can see the throne right here. The throne is right here, all right? All set is the throne, the beloved throne. Or Saw sits in the beloved throne, right? Which symbolizes the pineal gland, which is the soul embedded inside of the pineal gland. And that symbolizes Or Saw, okay? Or Set Meri also symbolizes the Kundalini energy. Or Set symbolizes that Kundalini energy, and when it hits the pituitary gland, that symbolizes the Mary. So that is the combination of Offset Mary. And then when she hits and strikes the pineal gland, right, because that white light is shining forth within the third ventricle, which is called the cave of Brahma, is also referred to as the cave in which that the manger, in a sense, in which that, remember, Mary and Joseph could not get a room, therefore, because it was full or whatever the case was, therefore they had to go and lay the child in a manger. Well, that was actually in a cave. According to the Apocrypha, it states specifically that they were in a cave, and then Jesus was laying in the manger. That cave is talking about the third ventricle in the brain, which is filled with cerebral fluid, in which that the pineal gland looks over. Okay, that is at the apex of the reptilian portion of the brain. Okay. Now, here you have Heru Sa or Set. Heru, the son of Isis, and Horus' mother was Mary, Miriam, or AKA Mary. And the foster father, Seb or Geb, which is Joseph, which we went over Geb, and we showed you that Geb is the goose that lays the golden egg, which is talking about when the woman becomes impregnated with the sperm, the golden egg comes forth, in which that we are inside of that egg. That is what actually breaks when the water comes forth, which is symbolic to the you are symbolic to the yolk, and that amniotic fluid is symbolic to that, to the whitish part in, or that clear part that's inside of the egg. All right. So you can get this from Ancient Egypt, the Light of the World by Gerald Massey. He tells you the same thing, that Mary is Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Maryam within the Holy Quran. All right, so we know that the Quran is 73% from the Bible. The other 27% comes from the Apocrypha, comes from the lost books of the Bible, forgotten books of Eden, and also from the Zen Avesta, which is known as the Zoroastrian text. We went over this the last class, the teachings of Ptah-hotep, the oldest book in the world. And we show you that Mer or Meru or Mary symbolizes the guardian. This is Set, Asa G. Hilliard III. And this is talking about Set once again. Here, the image of the beloved of Mary is, or Mer, is an owl in the mouth of Ra. And the mouth of Ra is talking about Tahuti, Hermes Trismegistus. He's the speaker. This is where you get the Aaron story from and Moses' story from. Moses said, God, I cannot speak eloquently enough. Won't you send my brother Aaron. Then the next thing you see is Moses talking about let my people go. Now what happened? What happened? You know, that's a big change all of a sudden. You know, well, he got endowed with the spirit of Tahuti, which symbolizes also an aspect of the Holy Spirit, or the word, or the Lago, all right, in which that is the word that is made flesh. His words is what makes the flesh. It's talking about sound. That is the wisdom in which that is manifesting. That particular power of sound, as we showed you before, is what holds the physical body together. It's the word made flesh. Sound holds your flesh, your body together, your 76 trillion cells. This is the breath, the sound, the breath, the word. All of these things are the code words in which that means the same thing. All right. When you go to Celestial Ship of the North by Valencia Stratton, she says this, that Meru means the garden of the tree of life. The pole or polar region, said to be like the seed cup of the lotus and the lotus of immensity. Meru was called the great world altar stairs by which men could climb heavenwards. At each step, a planetary heaven was established in their different cycles of time. Meru was also a name for the thigh, the matrix, or the mother. So once again, they tell you that the mother is Set, and her name is Mary, or here, Maru. The U and the I, as with all the vowels, are interchangeable. In this particular case, because the ancient Egyptians did not have vowels. They simply used the consonants, as in Arabic and Hebrew and Syriac, right? They did not use the vowels. They used the particular consonants, and the word consonant is taken from the root constant, which means that which remains the same. So it's the vowels that change the frequency and tones of the particular words in which that are being used. So we understood as ancient Egyptians, Kemites or Kemal or Temerians, we understood that the vowels that we will put in the words in between the consonants will create a different frequency based on how we would tone those words. All right.
Anthony super chat.
All right, brother Anthony, appreciate that. Thank you.
Said generating positive energy on the first Saturday of September.
All right, the first Saturday of the September. All right, well, of course, they tell you it's the 9th month, but Set means 7. So this really is the 7th month, and they added 2. All right, that would be January and February. All right. Janus is where January come from, who was a Caesar. All right, and then you have February. All right, so this is what we're talking about, how they done changed things up. But we know that this is supposed to be the 7th month because Set means 7th, right? Of course, this is the 9th month now, so we know that there's some things that's been going on with their calendar. So right here, it says that the occults have described it as the exalted mass of glory, the veritable haunt of the gods and heavenly choristers, not to be reached by sinful man, but guarded by the serpents. And these were the fiery serpents, the winged whale, Sephirim. Its 4 rivers or cardinal points of the world were symbolized in the 4 sacred animals, the protectors of mankind, who were the watchers over Karma and earth. Meru was the celestial mountain with the gods and the highest celestial beings dwelled, as well as the mythological birthplace. It says astronomically the celestial pole, the North Pole, y'all, the throne of Jehovah, Yahweh. Ru is the mouth, the outlet. Remember, we showed you the mouth. Ru. Here it is. Ru is the mouth. So they talking about Maru. Ru is the mouth, the outlet. Maru is also image of an island, a lotus or tree, and tree. Co-types of emanations from the water. It was celestial. All right, so let's break this down because there was a lot that was said and then nothing was explained. So, number one, the garden of the tree of life. Garden is, of course, is your physical body. The tree of life is talking about your physical body and its nervous system. All right, if we was able to extract your nervous system from your body, it would look like a tree. The pole or polar region is talking about your spinal column. That's the pole. All right, this is what is meant when you say the 23rd Psalm. Thou rod and thy staff, thou comfort me. Thy rod and thy staff. All right. The rod is talking about the phallus, the staff or the clitoris, and the staff is talking about what we refer to as the polar or the pole, hence your spinal column. It is said to be the seed cup of the lotus. Well, the seed cup is talking about that which produces seeds, which is your penis. Once again, or in this sense, or the orgasm for the woman, the clitoris. Because she can have two. She can have a vaginal, right? If you don't know, the woman can have a vaginal orgasm. She can also have a clitoris or clitorical orgasm. All right. So you have the seed cup of the lotus. The lotus is talking about your crown chakra of immensity. That's your crown chakra. You have 1,000 petals of the lotus, and the lotus of the crown chakra is 1,000 times stronger and more powerful than the 6 other chakras combined. In fact, when they are combined, it forms 144,000. All right, that's what it formed, 144,000. Meru was called the Great World Altar Stairs. Well, we know that the stairway to heaven by which man could climb heavenward was talking about the stairway to heaven. The stairway to heaven. And step by step. We know what that is. That is your spinal cord. You have 33 vertebrae. Why? This is why you have 33 degrees in the Scottish Freemasonry. This is why Jesus died at the age of 33. This is why Alexander the Great died at the age of 33. And step by step. At each step is a planetary heaven and was established in their different cycles of time. Meru was also a name for the thigh. Yeah, Meru was also named for the phallus, the penis, the clitoris, the vaginal, because that's the matrix, and or the mother, because it's from her gateway, her Meru, because remember, as above, so below, as within, so without. So at her thigh, or in between her thigh, comes forth you, male and female, man and woman, from out of the matrix, or into the matrix from out of the mother, which the word matrix means mother. So either or is the matrix. Occultists have described it as the exalted mass of glory. The exalted mass of glory, the veritable haunts of the gods and heavenly choristers. What all that shit means? Well, the mass of glory is talking about you taking on the physical body. You taking on the mass of the elements, which is mentioned on the periodical chart that you learned in junior high school. Helium, well, hydrogen, helium, etc., all the way down. Particularly of those 99 elements, Out of the 108 elements in which that they have discovered, some of which are man-made, you are made in the image and after the likeness of that exalted mass of glory. Because you are made in the image and after the likeness of the suns or stars. Remember, your body is composed of stardust material. 93% of it is stardust material. Therefore, that's the veritable haunts of the gods, the heavenly choristers. And step by step, it's the stairway to heaven. The stairway to heaven. Say step by step. The heavenly choristers, not to be reached by the sinful man. Every nigga ain't gonna make it, even though every nigga is a star. That's old school. You don't know nothing about that one. Because guarded by the serpents. Well, what serpents are they talking about that they're guarded by? Well, you have within the Sanskrit teachings, the Ida or Ida and the Pingala. The Ida is called the black serpent. And the Pingala is called the white serpent. Negative and positive. Brother Johnny Boy's son is in the building, no doubt. Appreciate that, God. We appreciate that. Much thanks for that super chat. All right, so we're looking at when those two are activated, then the third snake or serpent, which is the middle pillar, becomes activated because the serpent, which is Ida and Pingala, is also known within your Bible as Jacin and Boaz. Jacin and Boaz, as within Freemasonry, Jacin and Boaz. Therefore, the middle pillar is known as the Shoshuna, in which that it has 31 nerves inside of the spinal column, and the hollow area in which that comes up through those 31 nerves is called the Shoshuna, which is the area in which that allows the Kundalini to come up through. Once the Ida and the Pingala, which are the two external nerves, are activated, 31 plus 2 is what? 33. So you have 33 nerves and you have 33 vertebrates, which give you 66. This is why the Bible has 66 books in it, because it was broken down to the body and to what is supposed to be happening. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. The resurrection is supposed to take place before you leave planet Earth. Or it can. And at least within 3 to 7 days afterwards, after the death of the physical body, you can transform into the rainbow body or light body. This is what is meant by the resurrection of Jesus, 3 days and 3 nights later. All right. So it's not to be reached by sinful man, because the sinful man has too much pride, ego. He has too much hatred, lust, greed, jealousy, envy. Whenever you find a nigga who's trying to debate, that's egotistical. Nigga, if you know the truth, just put that shit out. People will know what seems right to them. Because guarded by the serpents. These were the fiery serpents, the same fiery serpents that we know that Earth, Wind, and Fire told you about. Serpentine Fire, 1977, on the All in All album. I remember I started teaching this in the late 90s, early 2000s, and Maurice Starr reached out to me via MySpace days. And on MySpace, he told me how proud he was of me for being able to decode the information and put that information out. The winged wheels. Well, how many wheels are there? There's 7 wheels, wheels within wheels that Ezekiel seen. And he told you that there's 4 animals that protected these wheels within the wheels. These wheels are actually talking about your 7 chakras. These are your seraphims. The 7 chakras symbolizes the seraphims. The seraph is the serpent, which is Kundalini, as it comes up through the seraphims, which is your Elohims, the Elohims, Elohims, Alim, Alim. Right? So all of this is talking about, as it comes up, the 4 rivers or cardinal points of the world is talking about the 4 sacred animals, which are who is the protectors of mankind. It's talking about the zodiac. Because those are talking about the 4 sections of the brain. Okay? Because when the child comes down into the physical body, which is through that soft spot in the brain, it forms a cross. That soft spot forms a cross. And this is the cross that you must bear. It's talking about your physical body. God damn it. And it's for you to get back to heaven. And the way to do that is the stairway to heaven. And step by step, God damn it. Who are the watchers over karma and the earth? That's the 12 zodiac signs and the 4 cardinal points, mutable points, fixable points. Right, cardinal points, mutable points, fixable points. All of them is broken down by earth, air, water, and fire, by the zodiac signs. The protector and watcher over karma of man, until you illuminate the last 3 pairs of cranial nerves. Once you raise Kundalini through the spinal nerves, you take that on up into the cerebral area in the brain, and you illuminate the 12 pair of cranial nerves, and the last 3 pairs of cranial nerves are the nerves in which that now takes you beyond karma and earth. Meru was basically Meru was the celestial mountain. So Meru symbolizes your head. Meru. It already told you that Ru is the mouth. So it already told you, well, your mouth is located on your head. Right or wrong? You see how simple this shit is? Meru. The celestial mountain where the gods and the highest celestial beings dwell. Yes. The pineal gland, the pituitary gland, or where the gods dwell. Mount Olympus is the pineal gland, where Zeus dwell, which is Heru, Jesus. Or as we would say, upon awakening, Jesus becomes the Christ. Christ consciousness. As well as the mythological birthplace. Yes, it's the birthplace of all the gods who was born in a cave. You don't believe me? Go and get the book, World 16 Crucified Saviors by Percy Graves. He goes up to at least 35 various messiahs worldwide. Meru is also an image of an island, a lotus. I told you the lotus, and also the signs of the tree. There's also an island. Why? Because remember I told you that the pineal gland floats in cerebral fluid in the 3rd ventricle. So it's an island surrounded by water. You get it? Co-types of emanations from the water. It was celestial, yes. Once your Kundalini reaches the pineal gland in the brain area, you now become celestial, as I showed you many times before. And then you beam that energy up. Scotty, beam me up into that galaxy-like cloud UFO that hovers over top of the pineal gland, and you off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Because you have activated the stairway to heaven. Step by step. Stolen legacy, goddammit. The Greek philosophy is a stolen Egyptian philosophy. George G. James. George G.M. James. We know that Meru also we get the term morph from. Morph symbolizes your head. This is why in England and throughout Europe, they use the Moor's head. because that is Meru. You get it? During the Persian, Greeks, and Roman invasion, large numbers of Egyptians fled not only to the desert and mountain regions, but also to adjacent lands in Africa, Arabia, Asia Minor, where they lived and secretly developed the teachings which belonged to their mystery system, what is their mystery system? Where in the 8th century AD, the Moors, natives of Mauritania, North Africa, invaded Spain and took with them the Egyptian culture. So the Egyptian mystery system belonged to what? The teachings belong to their Egyptian mystery system. The Moors' teachings belong to the ancient Egyptian mystery system, one and the same. Egyptian culture, which they have preserved. Knowledge in the ancient days was centralized, and it belonged to a common parent and system, i.e., the wisdom teachings or mysteries of Egypt. So the ancient mysteries are called Herbak, the light teachings, or Haka, the teachings of Tahuti. This is talking about this head here. Look at this. On top of the head of the body that is horizontal, the head is vertical. Look what happens here, just like in Freemasonry. All right? You was laid horizontally, and you must resurrect yourself at a 90-degree perpendicular level. Vertical. You must become vertical, upright, righteously. Right? So here this is symbolically right here shown. And if you notice, right between the paws and right behind the still, a priest would come and ask the initiate 3 questions. Right? And he would have to answer the questions correct before he was even initiated into the ancient mystery school system. Okay? This is called a Her-M or Ket, or Heru-M or Ket. According to Gerald Massey, the foremost Egyptologist, in his book, The Gerald Massey Lectures, he states that the name Freemason is derived from the ancient Metu Neter Freemason, or Herumis, meaning child of the light. Heru is the son of Orset, the widow. Hence, Heru is the widow's son. Heru being Hiram of Bith, derived from Heru's name, Haru or Ket, or the Sphinx, the initiator into the ancient mysteries. Akhenaten, which is Akhenaten, unified the teachings of Tahuti, forming universities to reach the Sunnam Banam, the supreme good from which all others are derived. 3 degrees was given to the Greeks, Persians, derived from a 9-degree system. The same 3 degrees, or the same degrees now, found within Freemasonry, into the apprentice, fellow craftsman, and master mason. The 9 degrees are found within the Rosicrucians, in which that takes you up into the Illuminati stage, to become illuminated. Jehuti is the Tamari, name of the guardian, ruler, and invoker of the moon. Dao, meaning he who has the nature of the Ibis. And early as the pyramid text, 2400 BCE, Pharaoh is said to be carried over the celestial river on the wings of Tahuti, considered to be the mightiest of the gods. Of course, Tahuti is Hermes, which is known as Metatron within your Bible. Well, within your biblical text / let's say within your biblical schemes or biblical tales. When they speak of the Metatron and also the Jewish lore, you can find this in the Dictionary of Angels by Gustav, right? Thoth, Tahuti, and Hermes, or other names. Thoth is thought, which equals thought, or tut, which is DVD. which is equals David, which equals wisdom. Okay, that's what that is symbolic to. And of course, we know that Tahuti's 7 principles is mind, the all is mind and everything is energy. The universe is mental, correspondence, all is above, so it is below, as within, so without, and it's below, so it is above, reflecting congruent qualities, vibration. Nothing is stationary and everything vibrates, giving off light and sound, color, thought. All right. Polarity. Everything has its double and everything has its opposite or complementary qualities. Thus, extremes me. Rhythm. All is ebb and flow as demonstrated by action and reaction, advance and record. Cause and effect. Nothing happens by chance. Everything happens according to the law. Generation, which is sex. Generation is manifested in everything, and everything animates, animated or animate or inanimate is masculine and feminine. So we say mess, Moses. All right, Issa, Kares. Issa, Kares, Eru, Kares, Mes equals Christmas. Kares, which is the K, is inspired like the CH, is an Egyptian word meaning burial. It's talking about the soul being buried inside of the pineal gland and waits for Aset to reawaken it. And once Aset, which is the Kundalini, kisses the pineal gland, just like you have the Arabs to run around the Kaaba 7 times, symbolic to going around it 7 times is the wheels within the wheels, the wheels. All right, talking about the wheels. And then on the last rotation, it kisses the black stone, the very dark brown black, to damn near black stone, the Kaaba. And Kaaba is spirit, Ba is soul, Kaaba. And they kiss it. So that symbolizes Asar in the pineal gland. And Aset is to kiss, just like you had the beauty to kiss the frog and transform into the prince. That's what that story is symbolic to. Because Heru is the production or the reproduction from that kiss, from that mating, from that consummation, from that divine marriage in heaven. Heru is produced, is formed, which is the prince. All right. Remember, Jesus is known as the prince. Right? He's known as the Prince of Selam, the Prince of Peace. Heru, Jesus. Right? But the prince is produced by the king upon the reawakening to transform into the prince. The king is Asar, and he's waiting for his queen. All right, that's the pharaoh and pharaoh's sister, the emperor and empress. The Kundalini, to become the queen of heaven once again. That's what she's doing, become the queen of heaven once again. And she kisses the pineal gland and awakens because both of them was half asleep, wrapped 3.5 times. She was wrapped 3.5 times, Corey, at the base of the spine. She was half asleep. Well, the soul inside of the pineal gland is also half asleep, right? And so he must too be awakened from his grave. He's Hiram Abiff, who was laid in the north, right? Who was hit in the head by the 3 ruffians, right? The ruffians, that's what that is all symbolic to, the ruffians. The ruffians, the 3 symbolizes the 72 conspirators who cut up Asar's body and laid him in the coffin to begin with. Okay, they said 3, 72, all of that is broken down into information concerning mathematics of the number 3. Okay. All right, we know that to get 72, That would be 3 divided by, well, that would be 72 divided by 3. All right. And that would give you the clue right there. All right. That's the clue. All right. So, of course, that give you 24. As in the 24 pairs of cranial, as in the 24 cranial nerves, which is broken down into 12. 12 times 2 is 24. The 24 is the 24 elders. All of that is talking about how Osar was encapsulated, which is the divine soul, and how Osar became the God which symbolizes consciousness to also become the God to symbolize unconsciousness. And so he needed a replacement as he was becoming unconscious to be in the upper world instead of being, which symbolized the surface of conscious, was Heru. And thus Heru did battle with his uncle, which is Osar's brother, Set or Sut, while Osar became the lord of the underworld, the god of the perfect black. Once he was green, just like that frog, right? That the princess had to kiss to transform into Prince Charming, right? In other words, to become Heru. All of these stories is based on ancient Kemetic mythology. Jesus was called the Christ from the Christos. This Christos came from the Kemetic Kodesh, the anointed one, the title of Tahuti and Heru, as you see here, because it is Tahuti and Heru who initiates you, all right, and make you a Messiah. The Hebrew or Hebrews equivalent is Messiah from the Kemetic Masu, the later Messiah. Mes means to give birth, son. Horus or Heru had a title called Mes, making him Heru the son. Heru Mes. Heru Mes, as we talked about, the son of Yah, as he's also called. So you can be Heru Mes, the son of Ra, or you can be Heru Kahuti, the son of Yah, because Yah is who we refer to as Tahuti, right? Jeremiah, ancient Egypt, the light of the world. He says this: the change from bodily death to future life in spirit was an act of a transformation seen in the mysteries of the resurrection. Moreover, Heru was appointed with the essentially precious Entu ointment or oil that was poured upon his head and face to represent his glory, which was made from sebek, the crocodile fat. This is what you see them pouring over his body, which symbolizes life. As you see here, the unks is coming down over top of the head along the body auric field. Being anointed. Get the book, The Return of the Serpents of Wisdom, all right, by Mark Amaru Pinkham. This is what he says: the serpent colonists of South America. Aramu, Maru, the serpent Maru. All right, so he speaks of the serpent Maru, one of the earliest immortal serpents from Mu to colonize America was Aramu Maru or Amaru Maru. Amaru becomes Amaru Ka. You just add Ka onto the end. Amaru. Amaru Ka. The serpent Maru. According to legend, moments before Mu's final demise, the serpent Maru, along with his consort Arama, Mara, right, boarded an airship and headed to South America with a cargo of sacred records and artifacts, including a huge golden sun disk. The mountains of South America, the Andes, resonate with the same yin vibration as their beloved Mu, and were there and was thus considered suitable for the preservation of the Lemurian culture. They were also, it was also the home of the city of Paititi, one of the planetary headquarters of the Solar Brotherhood, an organization around Maru had been a high-ranking member of Mu. Maru is actually the origin of more American, right? As they say now, Moorish American, but Maru is Moorish American. That's where that term comes from. So this is actually in the information coming from the Americas. All right, right here, you have America, the land of serpents. This is the serpents colonists of the Americas. America, the land of the serpents, being situated between both Atlantis and Lemuria, made the Americas both a stepping stone and permanent destination for serpent colonists traveling from both motherlands. It was because one was in what we now call Hawaii, which is Maui is still the capital of Hawaii today. And then you have the Caribbeans, the Americana, which is similar to Atlantis. All right, this is where they was coming from. So many of them converged upon the motherlands, what we refer to as America. It was also a favorite destination for extraterrestrial serpents arriving from Venus and other parts of the cosmos. According to the descendants of early Lemurian record keepers, the Andean elders, the entire American continent was anciently known as America, the land of the immortals, all right, or the land of the serpents, or the land of light, or the land of the wise serpents. The title America was from the Kushian Lemurian word Amaru, meaning snake or serpent. The Kushian, the language of the Inca, is derived from the runa Sima, the primal tongue spoken on Lemuria, and the ends in the syllables ka, which denotes both serpent and wisdom, apparently echoing the recollection of the Andes elders. H.P. Blavatsky maintains in the secret doctrine that America is referred to in the Hindu Puranas legends as Patala, the kingdom of the Nagas, the snake, the serpents. All right, this is what we've been telling you. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics for beginners. Metu Neter, the divine word. Here you have Mera or Meru, showing you once again the M, of course, is the owl. Then you have the R-U, which is the mouth of Ra Ru. Okay. So it's showing you this over and over again. The Serious Mysteries, the new scientific evidence of the alien contact 5,000 years ago by Robert Temple. For the Serious Mysteries, and it is in the Metu Neter character for the word MR. The character is the owl, and below is the oral oval shape O, which translates to MR. And as you know, there is no vowels in the Sumerian script. Many of the European Masons hold on to this secret. This words has many meanings such as water, energy, governor, captain, lord of the earth. Also, the same character is in another book called the Bantu philosophy. So it is clear that the word MR goes back to far, far ago. Immemorial. All right. Here it is. Always that owl. And you see, here's the owl here. This is what they show you even on the right upper hand, on the left-hand side of the one of the dollar bill, showing you the owl. That's who they worship. They worship the Moors. This is them at the Bohemian Grove. They call this is Moloch. It's trying to get you in that Illuminati bullshit, but Moloch was not an owl. Moloch was a bull. See, this is the confusion within the so-called conspirators and conspiracy theories. Who designed Washington, D.C.? Well, Capitol Hill is an owl. Who designed it? Ben Bay Emmanuel Muali, known as Benjamin Banneker, designed Washington, D.C. As he designed, as we know, Philadelphia, which was the capital for the Moors. But here it is. You had to go to he who designed Philadelphia and come and get him to design Washington, D.C. Right? So we know what they talking about. Novus Ordo Seclorum or Anuet Cleopsis. This is the Great Seal. Originally on our Great Seal, the head or the eye was attached to the base. All right. So this is our seal. The Great Seal is our seal. This is why the United States does not even use this seal on the documentation. So this is our seal. Then you have the pluribus unum, from out of one many, which is talking about this seal. But we even gave them this, which was symbolic to the eagle, which also the phoenix. Right? This is when we made them part as the 13th clan, Eagle clan, made them part of what we now refer to as Confederation in the Algonquin teachings. And we showed them how to set up government. They tell you within their own information, there's a House resolution coming from Congress in which that they have to tell you the truth, in which that they make mention of the so-called quote unquote government or constitution itself came from the Iroquois Confederation. We know that the setup of the three governments, legislative, executive, and judicial, comes from the Algonquin teachings. The same eye that we're talking about in the head, of course, is the pineal gland, the pyramid. Same eye in which that is shown, which symbolizes medicine, or X, or, you know, that's normally you see. Normally see the RX symbol, which is nothing more than the RX symbol is nothing more than this eye, which is on the drugstores. They trying to be slick with the symbolism, but this comes up to 1/64, which is talking about the 64 permutations of our DNA, in which that is in the pineal gland and the surrounding area, which is called the corpus callosum. You have the thalamus, hypothalamus, pituitary, the mammillary body, the pons, medulla oblongata, spinal cord, cerebellum, the midbrain. All right. All of that breaks down into the symbol itself. Corpus callosum or callosum, the thalamus, the hypothalamus, you see the medulla oblongata. The Benu, all-seeing eye, Godhead, center of the crown chakra. You see the pineal gland, which is the male's yang solar. Then you see the pituitary gland, which is the female yin lunar. Right, you have the carotid gland, which is near the carotid artery, which they don't never speak about. Right, we put a pyramid over top of the brain, and it fits into the same of the queen chamber and the king's chamber. All right, we talked about the number 64, and here it is, the I Ching and the genetic code. All right, you got to get what is called the hexagram or the I Ching, which symbolizes 64. And then, of course, you do the same thing when you play checkers or chess. It's 64 squares on there. 64 is the number of hexagramic symbols that made up the first I Ching oracle, and also the number of the possible DNA coding. The way DNA, which is a sort of organic computer. There is even talk of building nanocomputers using the DNA molecule. Transmitting information is through combining any of the four fundamental nucleotides base. 4 again is a set of 3, hence 64 possible permutations, all right, of acid. All right, that's the 64 possible amino acid sequences, y'all. So all of that is in the brain, in your body. All right, that's your DNA. That's the word, that's the Tahuti. This is the hypothetical correspondence between the ancient Egyptian cosmology and the cranial vault, the vault of heaven. This is Heru, Horus, and the sun disk. This is the same thing that we just finished looking at. The corpus callosum, the bark, the thalamus, Ra, sun disk, pineal, which is all Saw, Osiris, and pituitary gland, which is all Set, Isis, and the cerebrum, Pondunsu, Pond, and the medulla oblongata is Heru. All right, Horus, brainstem. The pineal gland is the master endocrine gland located in the center of the brain. The pineal, hypothalamus, and the pituitary gland comprises what is known as the third eye, the spiritual eye. From a metaphysical perspective, it has been known link between the physical and spiritual worlds. It functions as a link to prophecy and increased spiritual awareness and consciousness. Those same 3 outside of you that's in the night sky symbolizes the 3 wise men that found Jesus by the night star, which is Sirius, symbolizes what Bob Marley talked about, right? When Bob Marley said, look for your heaven here on earth. Well, what we did was the Lord's Prayer, right? The Lord is my, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So the kingdom should be on earth. Well, this is what they did. They took the kingdom from on high, which is the 3 stars in Orion belt, and brought it to earth. The 3 pyramids on the Giza Plateau, which is also found in Angkor Wat in Cambodia, and also found in South America among the Incas. All right, symbolizes the thalamus, pineal gland, and pituitary gland. This is the actual photo inside of the human brain. We showed you this before. The cells of the brain are magnified to the equivalent size of a car. The galaxy light, or the electromagnetic galaxy light cloud in the center, is the eye of Heru, or Saw, Christ, Buddha, Shiva, Uriel, who is known as the devil, Lucifer. Of course, we told you before that Lucifer is different than the devil and Satan. Hey, Satan is Saturn, okay? And the devil is your double, right? So it is inside of the brain in a fluid-filled space called the third ventricle. The eye of Heru, Horus, is alive and floats above the pineal gland and influences melanin and the spirit world unseen. This is Nibiru, Nebiru. All right, picture taken from Nutricides by Dr. Layla Africa. All right. Dr. Layla Africa, when we lectured together back in November of last year, he told me I was doing a good job getting this information out to the niggers. All right, so right here, Holy Quran, you have the chapter called El Najm, which is called the Star, 53rd Surah, 49 ayat. And Yusuf Ali said that he Allah is the Lord of Sirius, the mighty star. So we know that Sirius is considered by the ancient Sumerians, Egyptians, to be the most important star in the night sky. All right, as it's actually is the foundation of our entire spiritual and physical lawful system. The Dogon say that we came from Sirius. Well, remember the 3 stars of Orion points directly towards Sirius. It's the 3 wise men following the star. The star, Sirius A, which is the brightest star. We also have Sirius B, and it's called Ziggy Tolo and Polo Tolo. And they flip-flop over each other every 50 years, which is the age of Jubilee. Okay. Here you have Sirius A, Sirius B, as they come together every 50 years. And they flip-flop, exchanging energy. All right, this is real powerful. And this flip-flopping causes the same elliptical pattern of our DNA, as you see here. The 2 strands symbolizes Sirius A and Sirius B. As above, so below. This is why they say that we come from Sirius, the Dogon. So around the pineal gland, which symbolizes the shining star that you can see, the shining star, that shining star. That's what this is. Also, what Earth, Wind and Fire was talking about. Earth, Wind and Fire was talking about the shining star. It's talking about Sirius. All right. Symbolizes the pineal gland and its connection to that eye that hovers over top of the pineal gland. Right? But before you reach that, you must come by elevation of the 12 pair of cranial nerves. All right? These are your 12 disciples, the 12 pair of cranial nerves, and you must activate these nerves in your brain so that the Kundalini can go directly into the pineal gland and awaken, and beam me up, Scotty, can take place. So you have the olfactory nerves, right? You have the hypoglossal nerve, the accessory nerve, you have the vagus nerve, the trigeminal nerve, all right, the optic nerve, the motor nerve, all right. You have all these various nerves that sits around the pineal gland in a circle. Now, proof of this is coming from Rudolf Steiner, founder of the Anthroposophical Society, who was under Madame Blavatsky, and he formed his own society, the Anthroposophical Society. And he states the zodiacal nature is microcosmically reflected in the human being in multifarious ways. The 12 constellations seen under the dome of the firmaments are reflected under the dome of the human being's skull. And Steiner has said there are 12 principal nerves that originate in the head. This is true, but only a part of the picture. One can confirm, based on nerves and nervous system, that the peripheral nervous system is made up of 3 parts, mainly the cranial nerves, the spinal nerves, and a part of the autonomic involuntary nervous system that is outside the brain and spinal cord. These 3 are the Trinity above the zodiac. These are the nerves that I'm talking about. That now you can go beyond karma and beyond the zodiac. This is when the zodiac is no longer necessary. Until you reach then, you better study it and learn who you are, because it has relevance. Not until you reach this level does it not have relevance any longer. So this is why you have some people say, I don't believe in the zodiac. Oh, the zodiac has some truth. Yeah. You don't have to believe in it until you reach this level, which most of you have not, who talks that dumb shit. Until then, you better study. The highest of these 3 are the cranial nerves, of which there are indeed 12 pairs as follows. The cranial nerve sits around the pineal gland, the master endocrine gland, in the center of the brain. Like I said, the olfactory, the optic, the oculomotor, the trochlear nerve, the trigeminal nerve, the abducens nerve, the facial nerve, the vestibular trochlear nerve, the glossopharyngeal nerve, the vagus nerve, the accessory nerve, and the hypoglossal nerve. These are the 12. Right? Metaphysically, this is decoded in Revelations 4:4. Around the throne was 24 seats, and upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiments, and they had on their heads the crown of gold. The 24 elders fell down before him that sat on the throne and worshiped him that lived forever and ever, and cast their gold before the throne. So this is talking about the activation of these 12 pair of cranial nerves, the 24 elders, that sits around the pineal gland, which is the master endocrine gland. That is the throne of God. Remember, the throne symbolizes Orset. The throne in which that Orsar sits on is Orset. So not only is Orset symbolic to the pituitary gland, she also is symbolic to the pineal gland, as is the soul that is incarcerated or incarnated inside of the throne, which is the pineal gland, symbolically, Orset. Right? This is why you see Heru, which is or Sar, sitting on the throne of Orset. So we know that 1 Corinthians 3:16, do you not know that your body, that you are the temple of God and that the Spirit of God dwells in you? All right, we showed you these before, 1 Corinthians 6:19, 20. Or do you not know that your body is the whole temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you? And you was born, and for you was bought at a price before. Glorify God in your body and in your spirit. 2 Corinthians 6:16, 18. For you is the temple of God, for you are the temple of the living God. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. I will dwell in him. I will dwell in them and walk among them. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. So we find here in the Supreme Wisdom Lessons, 3, Supreme Enrollment 1-10, by Master Farad Muhammad, to his servant, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad for the lost and found nation of Islam in North America states, question, who is the original man? Answer, the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of planet Earth. Father of civilization, God of the universe. Sometimes you won't find father of this civilization. Quran question for Moorish Americans by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, founder of the Moral Science Temple of America, states, who is Allah? Allah is the father of the universe. What is his higher self? The higher self is the mother of virtues and harmonies of love and breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. Can the higher self pass away? No. Why? Because it is Allah in man. So here we have the temple of man by Ra or R.A. Sawala Lubix. You get his get that book, and then you also get another book, in Ancient Mysteries and Modern Masonry by Charles H. Vail, 33 Degrees. He says, this is the true deification or apotheosis. Man is like God in that he becomes a God. So what are we talking about? The temple of Luxor is the temple of man that we just seen in the Bible, right? In the biblical verses, which Christians say they go by as the Bible. And these are the verses that they go strictly by. You don't go, and I never heard a preacher ever go over those verses that I just gave you. Never. All right. So here we know that the temple of Luxor is located 2 miles from Thebes. This is the temple of Heru. All right. And it's based on the human proportions and design to symbolically represents the human body. It's the opening book containing the secrets of the human spiritual anatomy. In this temple, he found a human being embodied in the geometry of the temple's archaeology. In the temple's archaeology. Architecture. Thus, he concluded is that Nagu, Pharaoh, symbolic of the perfect man. The temple of man was built by Ramesses II in the 13th century BC as a setting for the rituals of the festival of Apit. The word Apit means secret chamber. So it is the festival of the secret chamber. During this festival, the king would make a ceremonial procession from Karnak along the avenue of Sphinx to the temple of Luxor, located 2 miles away. The king would make his way to one of the innermost chambers of the temple. All right, this is where you get the concept of the depth chambers from. All right. Thus, the king and his divine essence, called the Ka, and the creation of his birth, were united, and the king transformed into a divine being, a figure, a transfigured God-man. Okay, this is what is going on. All right, so it's called the great temple of Heru, of Bedet, of Ifu, or Edfu. All right, so right here you have the peristyle courtyard, the 4 elements of creation, the cardinal points, the 4 sons of Heru, the 4 fundamental parts of man, and encountered in the open, the preparatory work within the mysteries of transformation, the Malkuth of the Kabbalah. Right, you have the Pronos and Hypostyle Hall, the mysterious space of shadows. In the great hall, consciousness plunge eternity. Rituals which erects a stable structure upon the vast expanse of the primordial waters, leading to a new spiritual foundation, the Yasid of the Kabbalah. Offering hall and ambulatory. It represents a holy space between the Holy of Holies and the hypostyle hall. The energy of the offering was intended to wake up the Amen in the morning of Edfu and Dendera. The ambulatory underlines the spiritual communal nature of this sacred ground, walked on by the high priest and the select number of other priests. The intersanctum and nos. the deity was enthroned in the shrine or no, and most sacred ground, the Holy of Holies or inner sanctum, to be accessed by Pharaoh or his representatives alone. In the Kabbalah, Azaluth, the world of divine presence, Shekinah. Right, so the whole thing of the Mosaic Kabbalah teachings comes directly from the ancient Egyptian teachings, the exact same information. Here it is from the Mosaic teachings. Exact same thing of the high priest. Same exact thing from the Edfu temple or the temple of Heru. As you see here, the Jachin, Jachin and Boaz. Jachin and Boaz, which symbolizes, as you see here, the legs, but also symbolizes the two nerves outside of the spinal column. All of that correlates to Yahweh or Yahuwah or Yahivahe, which is Yahuwah, which means man equal mind, and or Yahweh, which is woman equals universal mind. All right. Man is Allahi, woman is Allahu, as I'll show you that. So we know that we're talking about the DNA. The Dogon showed us that the 50-year elliptical pattern is correlated to the elliptical pattern of our DNA. Well, we also find that Yahweh is nothing more than CATG, which is Cetosine, Adenine, Thymine, and Guanine, which are the nucleic acids that determines the complex process of heredity. All right. The sequence of the four base, all right, of the four bases or nucleotides. Each nucleotide consists of sugar deoxyribose. CATG gives the genetic message code for all forms of life, without which life as we know it would have never evolved. It forms the rings or rungs of the DNA spiraling ladder. DNA is another form of the Holy Bible where it says, behold, a ladder set up on earth. This is in Genesis 28:12. All right, so it's Jacob's ladder also. The DNA symbolizes Jacob's ladder also, not just the spinal column, but Jacob's ladder is DNA. DNA's elliptical pattern is nearly identical to the Kundalini Shakti elliptical pattern. Therefore, Jacob's ladder also represents the Kundalini energy, which comes up through the spinal column. And at the top of it, it reaches to heaven. Behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. All right, this is once again, in Genesis. All four proteins are arranged 3 at a time as a double helix, as a double-stranded helix. All right, so combined equals 72. Yahivahe equals 26, right, which comes to 8. Right, even when we go to the English alphabet, when there's 26 letters, 2 plus 6 is 8. And we break down God's names from the various languages, whether it's Hebrew, in particular Hebrew, we see the number 8, El, which is Il, or EL, which is 5 and 12. 5 plus 12 equals 17. 1 plus 7 equals 8. Elah, which is the same name as Allah, but Elah is the Hebrew name, which comes to 5, 12, 1, 8, which equals 26, and 2 plus 6 is 8. Elohim, which is 5, 12, 15, 8, 9, 13, equals 62. 6 plus 2 equals 8. Now, I'm the one that figured this information out, and I broke this information down on the holy divine meaning of nigga, right? Or the divine nigga meaning of nigga, which you might have seen on my page or either on Brother Panic's page. All right, I broke this down back in 2000 and 5, 4. But anyway, Ilion, 5, 12, 25, 15, 14 comes to 71. 7 plus 1 is 8. All right. As we said, the Arabic word Allah is derived from the Aramaic word Elah, or Hebrew word Elah. God even comes to 7, 15, 4, which is 26. 2 plus 6 equals 8. Right? We got Yahweh, Yahivahe, which is 25. Right? 8, 23, 8, which equals 64. Right? Along with Yahweh, which is 25, 1, 8, 23, 5, 8. So 70 plus 64 equals 134, which comes to 8. Then you have Adonai, or Adonai, comes to 1, 4, 15, 14, 1, 9, 44, which comes out to 8. So according to the Nation of Islam, what is the birthright question? Man is God himself, his environment, and the universe in which we live. That's the answer. So we have the Greek transliteration of the Hebrew acronym for God is found in Freemasonry. Temple, human body, is also called the lodge. It is thus that we are now considered. It is supported by 3 great columns. Wisdom is Shoshuna, strength is Pingala, and beauty is Ida or Ida, represented by the master, senior ward, and the junior warden, right? Senior warden, junior warden. The columns that supports the lodge. All right, question, what supports the lodge? 3 great pillars, vice, wisdom, strength, and beauty. Who is represented by the pillars of wisdom? The master in the east, pineal gland. Who, the pillar of strength? The senior warden in the west, pituitary gland. Who, by the pillar of beauty? The junior warden in the south, a hypothalamus gland. So the master in the east symbolizes the pineal gland, the senior warden, the pituitary gland, and the junior warden, the hypothalamus gland also, just like they symbolize this, the Sushumna, the Pingala, and the Ida. Because as above, so below. As within, so without. So in the first degrees, called Enter Apprentice of Freemasonry, God is, which is G-O-D. G stands for Gumar, means wisdom. Oz, O stands for Oz, meaning strength. And Dabar, D stands for Dabar, which means beauty. Now the Arabic equivalent is Al-Hakim, which means the wise, which is the 46th attribute of Allah. Right? And 23 plus 23 equals 46. Chromosomes made up the physical body. 4 plus 6 equals 10, which is the tree of life, which is talking about the 10 spears on the tree of life, or light on the tree of life. You have Al-Mukit, which means the strengthener, which is the 39 attribute of Allah. 3 plus 9 equals 12. 2, as in double active strand helixes, coding DNA, and 10 junk DNA, or 10 inactive strands helixes, non-coded DNA. Then you have Al-Musawiru, or Al-Musawir, meaning the fashioner, which is the 13th attribute of Allah. 1 plus 3 is 4, symbolized as the 4 elements: fire, earth, air, water is the foundation of life. 46 plus 39 plus 13 equals 98, which is 9 plus 8 equals 17. 1 plus 7 equals 8. There it is. We breaking this shit down. 46 plus 4 plus 6 equals 10. Takes you back to 1. 39. 3 plus 9 equals 12. 1 plus 2 take you back to 3. 13. 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Right? So 1, 3, 4. Right? Or when you combine 10, 12, and 4 combines to 26, which takes you back to 2 plus 6 equals 8. 8 symbolizes the 8 dividing cells of mitosis, which forms the whole all of the which forms all the physical body, the whole total physical body into existence. All right, so this is what we're trying to get you to understand. Arm, leg, arm, head, or arm, leg, arm, supreme head, or Allahi, which symbolizes man. Allahu symbolizes one man. Together, they are Allahumma, or the Elohim, the Alpha and the Omega, beginning and the ending, or Al-Um, or Alim, meaning the universe, or knowing. Remember, all right, remember that. Because Adam told Eve, flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. And he knew Eve, and Eve conceived. So that's how you know someone is by having sex. The all-knowing. Right? It comes by way of having sex. That's how you know it. The problem book of the poor righteous teachers. All right? This is on plus lesson 50, the black woman. All right? By Dr. Malachi York L. He says, who is the original woman? Answer, the Asiatic black woman, a queen, MGT, which is Muslim girl in training, and GCC, general civilization class bearer and receiver of life, the mother of civilization, having knowledge and wisdom, the goddess of the universe. What is a goddess? Answer, a black woman who is upright in every way and who fasts and prays in the name of Allah daily. She is the highest completion of the female creation. So go to the Secret Gospel of Mary, the first chapter, the 123rd verse, and it says, Mary said, remember I told you who Mary was earlier. Mary, which is all set, talking about if Christos can appear as a male, then surely Christos can appear as a female. Those who deny holiness in womanhood do not understand holiness in manhood or womanhood, but are solely bound to ignorance. Do not believe the father of lies, but believe in the mother spirit, whose name is the spirit of truth and comforter. Talking about the Shekinah, talking about the Kundalini. Believe in the mother, believe in yourself. The name of Allah is merely a title of Ra-Ur, or Ur-Ra, meaning, among other things, Ra, the great one, representing the rays of the sun. This title, Ur, as well as for female equivalent, Urt, was a title conferred upon many gods, Netur, or Neturu, all right, and great ancestress and ancestors in Kemet, to Mary, Egypt. Heru Ur, Amin Ur, Uret Kaul. The title Ur was translated into Ul, which becomes El and Al, as well as El. This is the proper derivative, right? A divination of the so-called Hebrew El and Arabic Al or El. Ra, Ur, or Ur-Ra becomes Allah and Allah, right? Or Ra, Uret, and Uret, Ra becomes Allah or Allat. Note that some Muslims spell and pronounce Allah as Allah. Ra or Rayat is the creatress, while Ra is the creator. Together, they function as one unit in the create as one unit to create the world. So, according to the Gematria, Hebrew numerology, Adam numeral value is 46. Therefore, it is an esoteric indication of 23 chromosomes of man and 23 chromosomes of woman, which totals the 46 chromosomes that produce life, human chromosomes. 23 hexagrams in the I Ching means break apart. And DNA irregularities occur every 23rd angstrom. Dr. Max Perutz, chromosomes in a single human man cell, takes the A, Adam, to mean damn, you can do damn, out of Adam, which now damn equals 46. Eve equals 19 in gematria. Thus, 45 plus 19 gives you 64. These are symbolic to the 64 permutations of DNA or the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. Moreover, the number 46 is the reverse of the number 64. And 4 plus 6 equals 10, and 6 plus 4 equals 10. And the number 10 is, and based on numerology, represents completion or perfection. All right. So here we have the science of the telomeres and the centromeres. All right, and the chromatid. All right, this is all talking about and how you can extend your telomeres is by eating more green leafy vegetables, getting more sun, and breathing properly. So the basic man is represented by the genitals in the temple mosaic. This section is known as the outer gate. It is here that man get fooled into believing he is merely human, flesh, or carnal, utilizing his lusts and greeds for temporary satisfaction. Then you have the holy place, or love, conditional love, right? The highest seat of the emotions. Then you have the third section of the temple, which is the Holy of Holies, the spiritual bowl, the head, which symbolizes where intelligence or intellect and spirit meets. Right? Here's an example of that, of what we're talking about. Right? Because we know that it was in the Holy of Holies that Jacob seen God face to face, and he named the land Pineal land. Hence the pineal gland, which is based on the Fibonacci numbers, or in particular, the golden mean ratio and pi. The mathematics of the human body, for it is based on the golden ratio, which measures approximately 1.618, which is derived from the Fibonacci numbers. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, 233, 377, 610, 987, and so on. So from the soles to the navel, from the soles to the crown is pi, which is 3.14. From the soul to the chin, soul to the navel, navel to the shoulder, navel to the crown, knee to the calf muscles, knee to the sole, navel to mid-thigh, navel to knee, navel to sternum, and mid-chest, navel to base of throat, base throat to the temple or brow bone, throat base to crown, end of calf muscles down to ankle, calf muscle to sole, mid-thigh to start of kneecap, mid-thigh to end of kneecap, navel to crouch, navel to mid-thigh, navel to sternum base, navel to sternum or mid-chest, throat base to earlobe, throat base to top of ear or brow bone to hairline, brow bone to crown, nose to chin, nose to base of throat. Now, there's many studies that are being done and finding that the golden ratio in the human face, as you see here in the body, even the hands, but these are only some of the occurrences of the golden mean ratio in our anatomy. Certainly there are more of these beautiful proportions, out of which ranging from the extraordinary to the mundane. Scientists in various fields, whether to be anatomy, chemistry, physics, math, astronomy, theology, in all the fields of music, architecture, or art, continue to be fascinated with the golden ratio. It is even found in our DNA, the perfect body. It is our genes. It is in our genes. All right, so this is what we're talking about. Here is the 33 vertebrates that we talked about, and also the 33 Scottish Rite levels from Enter Apprentice to Sovereign Grand Inspector General, right, which correlates to the 7 York rites, which symbolizes the 7 chakras along the 33, which is from after you finish the Blue Lodge, which is into into the apprentice, fellow craftsman, the master mason, you go into Mark Mason, into the order of Knights Templars, which are 7. All right, Mark Mason, past Mason, most excellent master, postmaster, excuse me, Mark Master, postmaster, most excellent master, Royal Arch Mason, Order of Red Cross, Order of the Knights of Malta, and the Order of Knights Templar. Right, those are 7. All right. This is what we was talking about earlier. Boaz and Jachin. All right. The 2 pillars symbolizes also the 2 sacral nerves that crisscrosses each other up from the sacral bone along the spinal column, conjunction along the chakras to the nostrils. In the Hindu teachings, the name of the 2 sacral nerves are Ida and Pingala. In the Bible, the story of Jesus being crucified between the 2 malefactors is referenced to the same. The alternating nostril breath technique alternates the sun, positive electric, right nostril, and the moon, negative magnetic, left nostril, and the 2 sacral nerves of nadis. All right, so as it comes up, it activates also through those various nerves that we talked about, which, of course, this is your tree here that we talked about. This is your Christmas tree. Kades Mes. The exercise of an alternating nostril breath technique is called anuloma viloma, producing optimum function to both sides of the brain. This is optimum creativity and optimum logical verbal activity. All right, this will make both sides of the brain, the left side, which is responsible for logical thinking, and the right side, which is responsible for creative thinking, to function properly. This will lead you to a balance between a person's creative and logical thinking. The yogis consider this to be the best technique to calm the mind and the nervous system. All right, but not just that, it also have the ability in order to stop high blood pressure. So we told you before that by doing 4, 16, 8, breathe in for 4, hold it for 16, breathe out for 8, you can do that, right? That's the ratio, all right, that you can start out. Of course, you can go lower or either higher. So you can go to 2, 8, 4. 2, 8, 4 is the lowest. And then you can go to 4, 16, 8. And then, of course, you can go higher to 8, all right, 32, 16, right? However you want to do it is up to you. But normally we start at 4, 16, 8. So remember, we talked about those various nerves. Your spinal nerves, well, your sacral spinal nerves on up into your cerebral or cranial nerves, all right, in which that has to be activated. All right. Now notice that these nerves correlates to each of these particular organs and glands in your body. All right. Your 7 endocrine glands, pineal gland, pituitary gland, hypothyroid, thyroid gland, parathyroid, thyroid glands, your thymus gland, your adrenal glands, your pancreas, spleen, your ovaries, and your testes within the male, prostate gland. All right. But they all connected also to these 33. As you see here, your eyes, your tear glands, your sinus, your mouth glands, mucous membranes, the parotid gland, the heart, all right, the lungs, the stomach, blood vessels of the abdomen, liver, ducts, gallbladder, pancreas, adrenal glands, small and large intestines, kidneys, bladder, and your sexual organs. These glands or these nerves reaches out into all of them. So this is why you can do the power of sounds, tones, right? To activate your 12 disciples, which is your 12 pair of cranial nerves in your brain. You can do the I sound. I. The I sound, right? Which illuminates the crown chakra, which is the B note, right? The third eye is E. The E sound, right? The A note. For the throat, all right, is the sound A. A, which is the G note. Then you have the heart, which is which is the F note. You have the solar plexus, all right, which is the E note, but it's the sound ha, H-A-H. Oh. Then you have the sacral, all right, which is the D note, right, which will correlate to the O. Oh. Then you have the root, which is the C note, which correlates to the U sound. So we know that the Y sound activates the area at the back of the head, which is called the medulla oblongata, which is attached right to the reptilian portion of the brain and the 12. Because remember, A, E, I, O, U, U, and sometimes Y. All right, y'all don't know about it. That's old school. But right there, the Y, all right, hit you right at the back of the head. Y. All right, hit you right at the back of the head. All right, activating those 12. See, you have 12 pair of cranial nerves, but you also on the brain stem. All right, you have 12 melanin sites. All right, this is what they are. All right, within the human brain, brain stem, reptilian brain, there's 12 centers or sites of melanin. You have the locus coeruleus, which means the black dot, which is also called the amenta neuromelanin tract. All right, is the principal pine fin nerve supply in the cortex. Is evolved in the REM, which is rapid eye movement, sleep. It allows an individual to remain conscious while dreaming, in other words, lucid, especially during astral travel and projection events, as well as during soul travel events. It helps in the process of recalling dreams. Then you have the substantia nigra, right? Meaning black substance, the 11 interchange of brain stem neuromelanin and nerve tract. Loss of neuromelanin in this nucleus is known to result in the disorder known as basically Parkinson's disease, right? This is because of aluminum accumulation. You have the procalyus, you have the nigralis, they have the what is known as the intracorporealis, coprolalis, you have the subciliaris, the nuvi trigeni, you have the mesocyphysis, you have the pontis, centralis, oratus, you have the tragmenti, ponsto, the ponsu, coelopontis, and you have the peribronchialis and the medicalis, dorsomotor, and the retroambulosus. Right, these are the 12 melanin centers on the brain stem. According to Nutricides by Dr. Layla Africa, he says there's only about 2 to 4 active in the European. All right. Nevertheless, the 12 sites or centers of the brainstem are very rich in this black chemical called melanin. All right. So this is why, of course, Jesus Christ's 12 disciples would be black to begin with, because it's inundated with melanin. All right. This is what this is symbolic to, on why you see 12 disciples as melanated beings, right? As they should be, right? Because that is the symbology of those of the melanin center, very rich in this black substance or this black chemical called melanin in that area, right? Right. If you get the book by Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, actually this is the 12, about by the same author. It's by the same author, the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary but this one is by him and his wife, Cora Fillmore. All right, you have Charles Fillmore and Cora Fillmore. But this is called the 12 Powers of Man, and this is what they break down, is that as we move from a 7-chakra system, we will move into a 12-chakra system. But there's other glands in our body also, but they was not part of the major, but they will become major glands, all right? They will become the major glands in your body. But here you have the 12 disciples of Jesus. The names of the 12 apostles are from the first Simon, who was called Peter, Andrew, his brother, James, the son of Zebedee, John, his brother, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, Matthew, James, Nebius, who is Thaddeus, Simon, Judas, all right, who betrayed him. Right? And we broke this down before, is that Simon or Bar Jonah is actually Kepsenuf Siman, which is the title of Tahudi. And we know that Kepsenuf is actually the son of Heru, all right? And it's Heru and Tahudi who initiates, all right, an individual become the Messiah, a Mesh, all right? Then you have his brother Andrew Bar Jonas, who symbolizes happy, the sign of Pisces, the fish, right? Remember, Jesus said he was going to make you fishermen of men, right? Who said that to? He said that to Simon, to Peter and his brother Andrew. He told him to cast down your nets and follow me, and I'll make you fishermen of men. Well, the name Simon is the same word as semen that we have within English. Simply take out the vowels and you have SMN, all right? Semen, same thing, which is also a priest. Heru is the earliest form of Sebek, the crocodile nature god, also known, who is also a fish or sperm. The Sim, right, which is semen, Sim, the priest. Sim is derived from semen, right? As we all are derived from semen. Of the ancient Chem priesthood was anointed with crocodile Sebek fat and used as oil in the baptismal initiation. And besides, Peter is one of the modern slangs for the penis. Stop messing with your Peter. Some of y'all told your male child that when he was younger. So semen also a title of Tahudi, and semen held that the child Heru in his arms as a young solar god. Jesus means ichthys or fish, sperm, which is on every good Christian's car. Plainly, Jesus is the psychophysical germ or spermatozoa in the semen. Hence the reason why we say that Jesus holds your physical body together, because the force of the sperm or spermatozoa is centrifugal and centrifugal force. Read the Esoteric Masonry or the Storehouse Unlocked by Philotas. Astrologically, directly behind Pisces, the fish is Cetus, the great whale. In the Holy Bible, New Testament, Mark 1:16, Jesus said to Simon and Andrews, as your brothers cast down the nets into the sea, for they were fishers. Peter symbolizes faith. And according to Matthew 16:13-8, read, whom do men say that I am? That the Son of Man am. And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist, some say Elias, and others Jeremiah or one of the prophets. And asked the question, whom do you say that I am? All right. And so this is reincarnation being told to you right here. He said unto them, but whom do you say that I am? Talking to Peter. And he gets to Peter. And Peter said, you be the Christ. You be the, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. All right, brothers Fahim and brother Zeno, appreciate that. Much love, much love. All right. So right here. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this unto you, but my Father which is in heaven. And I say unto thee, thou art Peter. Upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. The word faith is derived from the Kemetic word patah, the opener. Patah has the exact same phonic sound as Peter. Patah, patah, Peter. All right. The law of Peter or Petra was the revealer to Heru. Right. So Patah or Peter or Petra was the revealer to Heru. Metaphysically, Simon Peter's other name, Cephas, means stone, as in the philosopher's stone. Come out the pineal gland. And Jesus embedded inside of the pineal gland. This is why Peter was the best friend to Jesus. Right? Jesus, the Christ that is, Christ is embedded. The Christ is embedded inside of the pineal. The Christ is that black substance, that soul substance that survived death. Jesus is what holds the pineal gland and the rest of the body, all 76 trillion cells of the body together, emerging from out of those 8 cells of mitosis, which still resides at the base chakra in your sacral bone to this day, which emerges out of the sacral bone, the Ida and the Pingala, which is called the Boaz and Jachin. Get the 4 Gospels esoterically interpreted by John P. Scott. Because John P. Scott say Christ, the soul, questioning his disciples, the 12 pair of cranial nerves concerning his identity, to test their spiritual sight and perception. They all realized that he was a great soul. But Peter possessed the clairvoyant vision, which enabled him to recognize the great indwelling Christ spirit. This requires spiritual sight is gained through regeneration. Peter or Petro means rock, Hebrew. Peter has built the white rock mentioned in Holy Bible, Revelation 2:17. Within his being, which is also the philosopher's stone, and is produced by semen and not calcifying, there is a difference. The 144,000 sand-like magnetic particles of the pineal gland into a hard rock-like condition, like a diamond. Shaped like a diamond? Revelations 4:16, and before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal, a diamond. All right, so the third disciple is John Bar Zebedee, right? Dua Mufti, right? Now, Zebedee is the Hebrew name derived from the ancient Kemetic name Sebek, the crocodile deity whose fat oil is used to anoint the head of the Mes or Mesha or Messiah in Hebrew. Okay. For those that read the Gnostic text, you can go back and find that instead of wasting the seed and letting it spill into the ground, like it told you within the, if you get the Bible by the Catholics, it speaks of the story of Onan. It's not in your King James version, but the story of Onan is said to that he spilled his seed upon the ground, and he's supposed to have married and gave birth to his for his brother to his brother's wife. Why? Because his brother was killed in battle, and it was a family tradition that the male child had to bring forth the seed, because we know that siblings are closer in genetics than they are to their mother and father. All right, the ancients knew this. So his seed also symbolizes that fat or oil to be anointed. Okay. James Bar Zebedee, Amset or James, the less, and Jesus' brother, the brother of thunder, right? It's Mark 3:17. And James, the son of Zebedee, John, the brother of James, he surname being Boanerges, which is the son of thunder, or the sign Gemini, and Gemini is an air sign, and thunder produces booming sound in the air. Gemini represents the lungs of the human body, right? Yan or Yanen represents Yah, I am, gracious, and symbolizes the spiritual faculties of divine love, the seat of activity in the inner heart. James is the English transliteration of the Hebrew name Jacob, Yaakov, which means supplanter. James represents the faculty of judgment in the individual's consciousness. The seat of activity is in the solar plexus. Astrologically, James also symbolizes the constellation Cancer. 5, Philip means lover of horses. In Greek, he represents the faculty of us that through love, we master the stubborn yet vital forces of the human man. He symbolizes the throat chakra for it controls all the vibratory energies of the human body. Astrologically, Philip also symbolizes the constellation Taurus. Bartholomew means son of the plow. His surname is Nathaniel, which is in Hebrew means gift of the grace from God. Therefore, the cultivation of one's spirit through the faculties of the imagination can lead one to receive God's grace. Astrologically also symbolizes the constellation Scorpio. So see, if you was able to conserve your seed, you can cultivate one's spirit through the faculties of imagination, which can lead you to receive God's grace. That's what Scorpio symbolizes here. Because Scorpio is your genitals. Thomas or Thomas means twin. His surname is Dynamos, which is Greek. He symbolizes the head of reason and intelligent or intellectual perception. The name Thomas is derived from the ancient Egyptian, from the Hebrew name Tammuz, meaning solar solstice, which begins in the new moon of each July according to the Hebrew calendar. He is a Syrian sun god, the same as the Babylonian sun god. It also corresponds to the Greek sun god Adiah or Adonis, which is derived from the Hebrew god Adonai, which is derived from the ancient Kemetic god of the sun disk, which is Aten. So Thomas or Thomas is also another name for Baal or Baal. All right, Tho is short for the Greek name Thoth, Tho, derived from the Kemetic Tahu, meaning thought. Mes is short for Mesh or Messiah, or Messiah, which is derived from the ancient Kemetic Egyptian word Mes or Meshi, which means to be anointed. Tom is short for Thomas, which is derived from Tom, Tim, Temu, or Demon, setting sun or negative being, which is another form of Atum, which is Dynamos, is Titi, all right, which is Jehuti, Hutimes, which is Tahudimas, which is Hermes Trimajestus. Astrologically, Thomas also symbolizes the constellation Leo. Matthew means gift of Yah, right? His other name is Levi, which means joined. He was the son of Alaphaeus, all right? The publican. Astrologically, Matthew also symbolizes the constellation of Aquarius. James derived from Hebrew Yaakov or Jacob, meaning supplanter. He's the son of Alphaeus. He is known as James the Lesser and is also the brother of Jesus. Astrologically, James also symbolizes the constellation Virgo. All right, Lebbeus means man of heart. Right, his surname was Thaddeus, and his other name was Jude or Judas, which means praise. Astrologically, Lebbeus symbolizes the constellation Libra. Simon, the Canaanite, means a hearing. Astrologically, Simon also symbolizes the constellation Aries. Judas, praise means praise. And Aquarius means man of Caridoth, which also betrayed him. Judas Throne is in the genitive center called the reproductive center. Sex organs is the home of the genitals, is other words, those that dwell in the lower self or nature, devil. Astrologically, Judas also symbolizes the constellation Capricorn, Saturn, or Set on, Set an. Jesus is Greek and it means he who saves. All right, and Christ is Greek, which means anointed one. Astrologically, Jesus also symbolizes the sun disk and it revolves through the 12 zodiac signs, beginning with the sign of Aries, the ram, also the symbol of Amen. Okay. So this is what we're talking about here. This is the science behind it. And as we always say, we want to give you that powerful mantra for y'all hanging on, for y'all can start doing it yourself. All right. And you have to do this daily, many times a day, continuing now for days, months, weeks, and years to come. I am moving towards my most cherished goals of health, wealth, and knowledge of myself. My life is becoming richer with joy and happiness, protection, security, and full contentment. Every action endeavor in which that we wish to be involved is bringing increasing rewards. I am experiencing more and more joy much more frequently, and I have so much success. I am successful. I have an overabundance of good fortune, and I am able to help others who are sincere along the way, and I'm moving closer to the oneness of God and a full release of my higher inner self. All right, and as we say, Ashe, and we out, y'all. We love y'all.
Magnificent glow with unconditional love, scattered rays for days from the heavens above, soul below, the soul trapped in the lowest depths of hell, incarnated into 76 trillion cells. To break free, we must be refined, masculine and feminine properties combined.
The devil is the author of confusion. 183,000 divisions and religions. Denominations, sets, schools, schisms, and isms. There isn't a written in the Bible that Jesus spoke in parables. The scriptures and gospels are just historical. Many passages want me to be taken literal. Most of it is allegorical, based on esoteric principles. Baptist versus Methodist, Pentecostal holiness versus Jehovah's Witness, Mormons versus Seventh-day Adventists, skeptics, atheists, and agnostics, Ivano tactics of the reptilians, all fourth-dimensional aliens. So beware the draconian Satanists. Though they aim to imprison on true beings through ignorance, though we crush your head of Leviathan. Babylon controls subliminal suggestions, brainwashing indoctrinations, using religious politics, education, economics, health for labor, entertainment of war, from sex and war, in this chessboard game, full like you've all been pawns. Puppets on strings controlled by demonic spawns. You can't work with the devil and walk with God.
You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God. You can't run with the devil and walk with God.